For today's Washington State Cougar football camp report, I sat down with the head ball coach, Coach Jake Dickert, to get his take on heading into year 2 as the man in charge, the changes we can expect to see from the offense, and some Pac-12 realignment talk. This is our third time doing this. The first time was right when you became head coach before the bowl came.
Yeah.
Second time heading into your first full season as a head coach. There's no firsts this time around.
Yeah.
What's it like to just, not have the first year coming around here?
Well, I just think there's so many things that you've learned through the process. And now, especially just finishing up fall camp for the second time, you really feel like this is ours. There's really a comfort level that I think, not only I have, my family has, our program has. Even though we have some new pieces in the coaching staff, I feel really convicted on the men that we have here in our program and what we're doing and what we're building. So it's a day-by-day process. I mean, that part hasn't changed. But some of those were in some whirlwinds of first, and I think we've learned a lot along the journey.
Building off of what you had with Morris, with Arbuckle, I've seen that in the scrimmages here. It seems like a similar playbook with a bit different. What would you say is the most different for Coug fans out there that they can see this season?
I just think multiplicity, ingenuity. I just think we're very multiple in what we do, especially formationally, motions, not just the plays. I think the way we dressing up and how we do it, I think is very creative, and I think that's what separates Ben from a lot of people. Like, he just sees things very differently. For us to take the step forward on offense, like I believe we have, it's protecting Cam. It's having guys that are out in space making plays with the ball too. And then my core says we got to be able to run the ball, and I still believe that. Let's get those light boxes. Let's run. Let's be physical. The combination of Nakia and Jalen, I think, is very dangerous, and I think we're going to use the quarterback in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I mean, come on now, Wisconsin Badger guy growing up. You got to run the football.
It wasn't just that, man. It's like with Coach Bull, I mean, it was 22 personnel all day, and just inside run was like a war zone. So trust me, I've seen that style of football, and it's physical and aggressive, and it wins a lot of games.
You've been very outspoken, it feels like, about everything that's happened with the Pac-12 this season. What makes you, I guess, so passionate to let that view out there? Because you typically, I feel like you like to let the work do the talking,
Because I think not many people have a voice for the student athletes. We didn't ask them before we did all this realignment. The TV contracts, the TV monies, we're controlling everything. I just have a lot of pride in, the Pac-12 was the West Coast Conference, the premier West Coast Conference. So why does that go away? It doesn't go away for best practice. It doesn't go away for what's better for the student athletes. I meant what I said. We talk about NIL and how that can be an issue with young people. And then the first thing we do as adults and leaders is make decisions based on money. And I understand business, and I understand how the world works, but at the end of the day, I just feel like we're going to look back on this and go, was this the best for all of our student athletes that we're in control and in care of?
And thanks to Coach for sitting down with me. That was only a small portion of our interview. If you want to watch our full 25-minute talk about all things WSU football, head over to our app, KREM2+, our website, krem.com, or our YouTube page.